on proactive interaction safety. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Masoudi to the stage.
Giving us a good chance. So, my name is Hamed. I'm an industrial engineer, CEO of ICMC, Innovation and Change Management in Canada. Our focus first on their how it works. Okay, perfect. So, who are we? We are a startup company with focus on the challenges that Canadians are facing. And two of the challenges that we are facing these days are the cars that are being stolen off the streets. I have that on the wall, so my Pareto is on the wall. I'm not going to pitch that today with you. And the other problem that we are facing is actually the number of accidents that we have on the road. We had 1,501 accidents reported with at least one fatality in 2018. 351 of which happened at intersections with stop signs. Government of Canada, Transport Canada, had a vision to get to 0 fatalities in Canadian roads by 2025. They realize it's not achievable. Let's change that. So 2030 vision of Transport Canada is towards 0 fatality accidents in Canadian roads. So I said 351 accidents with at least one fatality. Let me ask you a question, because this is the focus. How many of you either didn't stop on a stop sign because the weather was not fine, you missed the sign, or you checked everything, it's your neighborhood, you know what's happening, there's no car, you passed it. Let me make it easy, because safe. Okay, you were brave. The other is, and if you saw someone, raise your hand, either yourself or you someone, crossing a stop sign without stopping.
Oh yeah, you need to be all the time.
I'm not going to comment on that. Jacob, he was competing in Paralympic this year in Paris, trying to take us back a medal. He couldn't, but still, kudos on him. He was a hockey player. Back in 2018, they were planning to go for a game that they never get. He was lucky that survived. 16 of other players on the team were died, unfortunately, on the crash. What happened? So, off to their location, destination, they reach an intersection. There's no stop sign for them, so they have the right. And this is rural road in Saskatchewan. There's a semi-truck crossing the stop sign. For whatever reason, he comes to the intersection and disaster. This is only 1 out of 351 accidents that was reported to Stats Canada 2018. Why am I going that back, 2018? Why don't you have any recent evidence or case? Well, first of all, this was the starting point that I started to do the analysis on what was the problem. Why is this happening? And it happened year over year, year over year. Last year, a senior boss in Quebec, right after the pandemic, they were off to casino. Same scenario. Why this case? 2018, May this year, the court decided and made the final call that the driver was in fault, and they had 2 options: sentence for life or get deported. The driver is getting deported. So imagine one accident, one individual is causing us that much of challenges, and we cannot forget the lives that partaken of these type of accidents. Now, what are the problems causing this? Either failure to stop, or distractions, or failure to yield, or aggressive driving, or weather conditions. It's not just this, but ICMC is looking at a solution to improve these items that I'm highlighting. So the target for us is to be on board with the government, or at least follow their vision and be towards the vision, because we are going to help them make the roads of Canada safer. And based on the target that we have in common, I'm trying to enhance legislation, I'm trying to improve road safety information, I'm trying to improve the safety of vehicles that are on the road, and I'm trying to leverage technology and innovation. How are we doing that? So imagine an intersection, and again, this is another intersection that had fatal accident, but I'm not going to go through it. So there are tons of examples of what's happening there. So the system is, instead of waiting for accident to happen to then do something about it, is proactively collecting data to see what are the high-risk intersections. Now, this is valuable data, and I'm starting to collect. So at the time that we are going to come back to 35,000, and there is already budget for it, but there is no decision-making data for it. So the fund goes back to the Treasury Board, and it gets extended for another round of, okay, what can we do? Now, what is my go-to market strategy? I'm looking to pilot this project in Ottawa for our planning firm. That requires support from our municipality. Then my approach is to extend it to our province, and then going beyond and implement it nationwide. My phase two is to go beyond the borders, because that is not the problem that we just have in Canada. The other picture that I was sharing with you was in Australia, same accident there. So it's not just a problem with Canada, it's a problem with people behavior. And people are the same, no matter where they are at. If they see the condition defines the behavior. And if you're not doing anything about the behavior, then the result and the outcome is going to be the same. So I can see this going beyond the border, because we have people everywhere, and the problem is everywhere. My exit strategy potentially kicks in after 5 years, because I'd like to collect the data. That's my assets, that's my value of the company, and then I can have a say on my exit strategy to be acquired by another company. So as I said, the TAM, SAM, and SOM, let's have an intention on what is in scope for us. 3,500 intersections in Canada could adopt this solution. This is what I'm focusing in order to make less than 4% of intersections safer. And I'm expecting to not build a lot of money on the first 4 years, as first of all, most of the money goes for the units and infrastructure. Plus, the data will become valuable at year 4 and 5. That's when I have a say with evidence, with data. That's when the company has some value. So within a couple of years, the first 3 years, I'm just a collector of data, and then I'm expecting to have a valuable asset, which is the data, to start selling. I'm benefiting from a team of advisors. We have AI advisors, we have engineers, and people that are into studying people behavior, including myself. I'm asking $250K for 20% of equity of the company, and I have a plan on how to properly invest that money into the company to get